Broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown studios inside Santander Stadium. Welcome to Revs Hot Stove Weekly, your preseason home for York Revolution baseball, and the only place to hear the latest player signings first. Revs Hot Stove Weekly on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports. Now, here are the hosts of Revs Hot Stove Weekly, Darryl Henry and Atlantic League Manager of the Year, Mark Mason.
Edition number 4, welcome to Revs Hot Stove Weekly, this final episode of the month of February. Darryl Henry along with Mace, Ray Jensen here in studio as well, as we continue to get you set for the upcoming 2015 season on our brand new Revs preseason show. Mace, welcome back in, week number 4. Are you a vet at this now?
Not yet, not as vet as you, but no, I'm enjoying it. It's a good time. Thank you.
Should we let the people know what the pre-game, pre-show preparations are like? How hard we work and how studious we are to prepare for these?
Well, you were working on your slap shot, and I was working on my sand shot. So, yeah, we were working pretty hard this afternoon.
In here in the game room. Well, I had a little house cleaning to clean up from last week, and this is what in the radio business we call a make good. I was supposed to give Travis Garcia a little shout out and completely dropped the ball. He wrote his own commercial for me. Hey fans, the York Revolution's very own Travis Garcia is now giving private baseball lessons at Spooky Nook Sporting Facility. Sign up today at SpookyNookSports.com and ask for Travis now. He will be billed for that announcement at a later date.
April 14th, he'll get billed for that one.
No, but I was supposed to give the shout-out. He's in Lancaster, and not only is he getting ready for the season, but he is giving lessons over there, so I owed that to him. And, Mace, we see a lot of these guys during the off-season get into that, and I remember being a youngster myself and looking up to guys like that and looking forward to instruction like that where I could get it. And you do some of that yourself, too. You do a lot of that. So it's kind of the norm for baseball players and coaches and managers at this time of the year. And we have a few guys that do that in York with Therm and yourself and Jason Espedo from years past. And now Travis over on the other side of the river doing the same thing.
Well, it's a good business to get into in the off-season because obviously it's a seasonal business, and when you're playing baseball all spring and summer, it's hard to find full-time employment, during that time of the year. So it's an opportunity to share your knowledge with young aspiring baseball players, student athletes, and it gives you a good chance to interact with some of the parents as well, and you can send some good messages to the kids along with teaching them the mechanics of the game.
Well, on this week's show, of course, you can find us on the air, as you're probably doing, or online at WOYK1350.com, which you might be doing, or on the WOYK mobile apps, which you also might have found us there. And if you've missed any of the first 3 shows, those archives are on WOYK1350.com, powered by our WOYK YouTube channel. And you can also contact the show. Mace will be fielding your questions and comments. Actually, Ray will be filtering them through to Mace. So we got to get by Ray first. But tweet us at WOYK1350 or like WOYK1350 on Facebook and send us a message there. Ray is all over both of those outlets today, and I think my favorite part of the show is the intro because I get to say WOYK 1350 about 20 times in a row.
And you do it very well.
I don't want anybody to ever forget where they are listening to this program. Well, Mace, before we get into it, we have 3 signings this week, so this will take us up to 13. If you missed any of the first 10, the archives would be a good place to go. But I would say it's fair to say that this week we kind of have a blockbuster show on tap. We've got 3 really good names on tap here, and I think fans will be excited.
I do as well. This is a fun week. I think all the announcements have been really good to this point. and I think this will just keep adding to the list.
All right. Well, we have our musical interlude to introduce our first player signed for this week, and I'm banking on fans as soon as they hear the chords, knowing exactly who we're talking about, so I don't have to intro him. Ray, turn it up. That is Limo, folks. Johan Lamonta returning for the 2015 season, his fourth in York. And Mace, I don't know if Stevie Wonder gets him pumped up necessarily to come to the plate, or if it calms him and soothes him. But when he hears Stevie Wonder, he hits well, and he's hit well for 3 seasons with us, and that's a mighty good get for you, I think, heading into his 4th season here.
Well, thank you. It's great to have Limo back. He's so much fun. Besides being talented, he's a blast to have on the team, in the clubhouse, in the dugout, always smiling. He takes a good ribbing as good as anybody, and he over the years he started to give them back now. So it's just a lot of fun to have him back. I know he's excited about being here, and we're thrilled to have him back.
Yeah, I know some of our young listeners in particular are probably very happy to hear the news. He's taken a couple of them under his wing, and Jacob in particular I'm thinking of. He often tweets us here at the show anyway, and he goes out in the field and warms up with him sometimes. But Limo's become a real fan favorite here, Mace, and he first joined the team in August 2012, helped them do a second-half playoff push, and then 16 games the following season before the Padres signed him. Last year, played very well here with the stint in Mexico in between, and got off to a great start. Came back, was a hero, along with Smitty, of course. One of the heroes in Game 3. Everybody's going to remember Sean Smith's home run, but that made it possible for Limo to get the walk-off hit against Sugar Land. So, he's a special hitter. What do you see from him at the plate and his approach, and maybe it's his eye or whatever? It seems like he's got a little bit something different there at the plate in a good way.
Well, he has great focus, and he's not afraid to hit the ball down the left field line. He can obviously pull the ball when they go inside on him, and he's a student of the game. He studies the pitchers. He has a good memory of how they worked him in the past, and I think he goes up there with an approach, looking for certain pitches in certain counts. We talk a lot in the dugout about sequences that are being used against our left-handed hitters during the game, based on who's pitching against us at that time. And it just, he goes up there with a plan. He's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. He'll get to 2 strikes a lot of times, and professional hitters aren't afraid to hit with 2 strikes. They sit on something, and they're good enough to keep battling and fouling off tough pitches until they get something they can handle, and that's something that he's done here.
31 years old this season, and definitely playing at a high level. Last year he hit .302 for the Revs, 7 home runs, 58 driven in 88 games, and in Campeche in the Mexican League last year, I believe it was .306 that he hit down there, so consistent all the way around, and last year actually tied a club record for RBIs in a single month with 32 in May. Thought maybe he'd have a chance at being Atlantic League Player of the Month in May. Just got edged out for that, but he maybe could have or should have gotten that award. But he had a great start to the season. And do you head into this season thinking that at some point you might have to fill a void if Mexico comes calling again? Or do you think it's a situation where he's explored that and maybe he's got a different thought about that heading into this year?
I do think for the most part he has explored it, and I think he's really happy being here. He basically has said for this year that he would be in York unless he was signed with a major league organization. The year before last, when he signed out of here, and I think he went to the Angels, if I'm not mistaken.
Padres.
Or the Padres, that's right. Mexico had called him all year in 2013, basically from as soon as spring training was over. And he just said, you know what, I have a plan. I'm going to stay here. My goal is to get picked up out of this league. And he did get picked up. Him and Andy Marte were kind of later in the season pickups that year. So, he stuck to his plan, and I appreciated that, and it worked out well for him. So I believe his mindset coming into this season is the same as it was then.
And last year, is it true he could have gone earlier, but he wanted to stick with us and help win the first half before he left?
That's exactly right. Just the type of guy he is. He had an opportunity to go to Mexico before we finished the first half, and he said, no, I want to be here when we clinch it. And so he put Mexico off until after the half was over.
Well, and earlier in his career, Havana, Cuba native, and we talked with him on a pregame during his first year about his trip from Cuba to the U.S. and just an unbelievable story, what he and the others that have gone through that have gone through to make that move. But once he relocated to the U.S., he was drafted by the Mariners, 20th round in 2006, spent his first 7 seasons in their system, and he reached AAA in 2011, batting .319 with Tacoma in the PCL, had 14 home runs as well. So he had some tremendous success at the highest minor league level, and entering this season a career .289 hitter here in York, in 143 games a .294 hitter. And Mace, with adding Lamonta to the mix, and I know you have your construction hat on still with constructing this roster. There's much to be added, but do you like the balance from what we've announced so far and the way that the lineup is starting to shape up a little bit?
No, I definitely do. We're trying to get quality hitters from both sides of the plate. The one thing about our ballpark, the ball jumps here at all fields, but we also want to make sure when we go on the road that we have a lineup that's conducive to those ballparks as well. So it's kind of a combination of taking everything into account. But, we're really pleased with Limo. Limo can play some outfield for us. He can play first base and DH, which I know he's not a big fan of, but he gets ribbed pretty good when he's the DH in the lineup. So, but he's just a great all-around guy and a great guy to have with us.
Is it true that a lot of players fall into that category, that they don't particularly care for the DH? I mean, do you ever come across one that actually wants to do that?
The last guy that I remember that didn't mind DHing was Cafe Herrera way back in 2010. Cafe, he just wanted to hit. He didn't care about the other stuff. But most of the guys, they don't mind it once in a while. They would rather do that sometimes than have the whole day off. But I try to use it with the lineups that we're putting together as a way to give a guy like a half a day off, and then eventually rotate him into the full day off. So we try to rotate the DH when we can and try to give everybody a chance there.
You mentioned the balance in a lineup, and we've seen in years past other teams that, it seems anyway, when you look at their lineup, you look at their roster, that they build it with their home park in mind. With trying to maintain that balance in your lineup, do you think that's one of the reasons that this team has had so much road success over the last few years?
I hope so. Yeah, that's kind of the plan going in. I can understand, coaching in Lancaster wanting to put all left-handers at home plate, but that really doesn't do you good when you go to Southern Maryland and it's, 25,000 feet to right field. So I think every ballpark has their niche. I think all the managers are aware of what they need to do, and you build for your home park, but I try to give us a chance when we go on the road as well.
Well, we are off and running here this week. Yohan Lamonta is the first one back in here on this week's show. We caught up with Limo earlier today. We'll have that conversation when we return, and 2 more signings to get to on this week's show as well. Pretty big names, I might add, so stay tuned. You're listening to Revs Hot Stove Weekly here on Sports Radio 1350, WOYK1350.com, and the WOYK mobile apps.
Turning a double play takes teamwork, and so does preparing for life's challenges. Murray Securus works with you, hand in hand, providing thoughtful solutions to help you plan for the future. Team up with Murray Securus for safer, more secure risk management, personal insurance, health benefits, wealth management, even cutting-edge human resource solutions for individuals and small to large businesses. Living life in a winning way just takes a little teamwork. Call Murray Securus today at 397-9600 or go to murrayins.com.
Bill Raftery from CBS Sports, the man who gave us the expression, onions. I actually thought that onions meant you're slicing onions and you're making the other team or coach cry with a big shot.
Well, it's about toughness. Okay. You know, it really is.
So it has nothing to do with slicing onions. And I saw where you got criticized by one of the media critics that you shouldn't be saying onions because of what it means.
Well, that's his interpretation. It's just, I just think it's just somebody that these kids respond in the most difficult of moments and step up, and it's something that will be chronicled the rest of their lives. And
what's your wife say when you say, you know what, I say onions?
I wish you had them.
She said that she wishes you had onions? Patrick from 3.
On Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports. The York College Spartans play here. Catch York College basketball all season on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. Your home for York's home teams.
And now a steal at the other end. Wagner picks one away, a foot race, and lays home another one. Dribbles foul line, a jump pass down to Shea, and she has 10.
The spot for the Spartans. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports. In the midst of the long, harsh Pennsylvania winter, anticipation is building. An undeniable excitement born from the knowledge that each passing day brings us closer to a new beginning. One day closer to making a statement. Closer to writing a new chapter in the York Revolution's history. As we count down to April 24th, we're reminded that each day brings us closer to the start of something special. Sports Radio 1350, WOYK.
Hey, this is Mark Malone from NBC Sports Radio. The Revs play here. Catch York Revolution Baseball on Sports Radio 1350, WOYK.
Back here on Revs Hot Stove Weekly, as we just announced, Johan Lamonta is coming back here in 2015. And as Mace told me, here's our conversation with Big Papi Limo. We talked with him earlier today. Well, Limo, thanks very much for joining us, and looking forward to having you back here. First off, how's your off-season been, and where are you living right now?
Well, right now I live in Fort Lauderdale, and so far, I've been working out. I've been trying to try to stay healthy and get good shape. Just working hard every day. Like Monday to Friday. I do like a new program, a workout, and everything's good. It's just so far I got about almost 3 weeks. And I'm getting stronger. Everything's getting great right now so far.
Well, that's good. And we're looking at the stadium right now, and there's snow in the field. How is it in Florida these days?
Well, right here the weather is cold. It's just getting hot, like a little bit, but it's really nice. I'm gonna start doing like a baseball start next week. Because the first couple of weeks, I really worry about my shape, about my body, getting the workout into it, And now, the weather is really good. For now, I think, to play baseball, I think I'm ready to play already because the weather is so nice. So the temperature is about 60, 80. It's not that cold.
Okay.
It's kind of cool. It's really nice.
And how did you spend your winter? You played winter ball again this season, right?
Yeah, I played in Mexico, and Liga Veracruzana. You know, I play really good in that league. I don't play the whole season because I got a call up from Puerto Rico League. The Indians in my way, they call me and they ask me if I want to go play there, and I say yes. So it's kind of like I went there and I started pretty good, and then I get hurt in my hamstring. And after that, you know, I try to come back. You know, I try to hurry because, you know, with the ball, you have to you don't have too much time to play. You know, it's kind of like you have to hurry. You know, if you got hurt, you have to figure it out what's going on, what happened, and then you have to come back to the field ball. So I try to hurry a little bit, and you know, I came back and I feel a little uncomfortable with my leg. It's kind of like I don't feel the same guy right when I came back. So it's kind of like get a little bit slowly. I just play one game in the final, and really I don't help the team the way that I want to. So it's kind of like I feel a little bit disappointed, but at the same time, you know, I enjoy it. You know, I learn from that. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm ready. You know, I don't wanna. That's why right now I worry about my body. I try to get ready to play the full season in Europe, because that way, you know, it's just everybody knows it's a long season. But at the same time, you know, you have to be ready because it's every year in Atlantic League, the league's getting better and better. So I don't know the roster for anybody, but you know, I'm sure, you know, everybody's going to try to bring the best players. So we see.
Yeah, talking with Johan Lamonta. So coming off the injury down there, how are you feeling now?
Well, I feel great. I feel so good, and you know, like I said, you know, I started working out hard, and everything I do right now is getting better and better. My hamstring is 100% right now, and my legs getting stronger. You know, like I said, you know, I'm doing like a new program workout right now, and the guy he helped me. He really excited the way I'm doing every exercise, because you know it's kind of like he saw the difference between right now just the third week, but from the first week he said he saw the difference. So it's kind of like before I get a spin train, I got about 4 more weeks before I get there. So that way, you know, I'm sure I'm gonna be, you know, like 100% and like gonna be ready to go, like all kind of aspects. Like I mean, like to run, to hit, to throw, to everything, you know. So, you know, I wanna get there. I wanna I always try to be in the best shape I can, and I try to be there, and I try to be there like 100% from the first day to spring time, and try to, you know, be ready to have the team. You know, it's just, I don't know where they're going to play. I don't really want to talk about that, but I'm going to, you know, I'm going to be ready to play anywhere, so.
Yeah, well, and we're looking forward to having you here, and this will be a 4th season in York for you, and certainly you've played well here. You've gotten signed from here. When you first came here, did you ever think that you would enjoy this place so much and see it kind of become a summer home for you, I guess?
Well, you know, every time, I don't know, that's happened to me a lot. The way, like, every time I go somewhere for the first time, it's kind of feel like a little bit weird, because I don't know anything about that. But just right now, you know, it's just, I signed with George because I feel like I have family there, you know. I feel like, you know, like I really enjoy it every day, you know, the fans, the stadium, the people, the teammates, the coach staff, everything's so nice. So it's kind of like, you know, I really enjoy it every time. You know, I can't wait to get there. I know it's cool right now. I don't say I'm gonna be there right now, but you know, yeah, but you know, I'm really excited. You know, I can't wait to be there. You know, I can't wait to see the fans. You know, especially the fan club. They helped us last year, you know, the whole season. So you know, I would like to spend time with them. You know, especially with my little kid. Very soon, I can wait to see him.
Yeah.
And, all the people who come to the stadium, the girl, Helen, she always watch me play. And everybody, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Looking forward to another year. And, lastly, Limo, one of your highlights from last year, and obviously everybody wanted to beat Sugarland and advance, but even though that didn't happen, we did have the Game 3 here in York where the place was just crazy. Sean Smith did his thing. You had the walk-off base hit. Obviously, that was a season highlight. What are your memories from that night and how awesome the atmosphere was here? And, thinking back on that, does that kind of make you excited to get back here and start another season?
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks, I've been talking with Smitty, and every time we talk about that game. I always going to remember that game. Not because I got to walk out here. I don't really, for me, it really doesn't matter what I did, What's important for me is, why he did. It's just kind of it's something I never see before, It's something I never expect to any human do in baseball. And for me, it's so important that I be because it's kind of hey, I told myself before I went to the home plate, I said, Limo, this is your moment, this is why you always, I'm gonna feel proud if I really win this game. The way the way we played the whole game because we've been behind in the scoreboard the whole game, so it's kind of we tied the game with crazy home run from Smitty, and then we have a couple of opportunities and we never score, so it's kind of everything's getting it's kind of I called that moment, and I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited because the last I think 2 days ago I talked to Smitty about that game, and right now he's doing a rehab in Arizona, doing pretty good. And I told him, bro, I feel sad because the way we don't win the whole team, but at the same time, the same way I feel happy because that game we need to win that game. Just that game, after what you did in that game, it's not a way we can lose that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just kind of he's so happy because me and him, we have a good relationship. We talk a lot. And this year, I really want to go like I said, I try to get him the best shit I can. I try to go and play 100%, maybe harder than that from the beginning. And I don't know how many more years you're gonna play, but I would like to play. I would like to win the championship this year with George. I don't know the guy we got. I know about 6 guys. So in Twitter, a couple of days ago, I don't know the rest of the guys we're gonna have on the team. But I know he's doing a really good job. The people from the front office are doing a good job. And I believe he's gonna try to he's gonna try to bring really good players, so he always do. So it's kind of I'm excited. For me, this is gonna be really important. Really important year for me because I really want to win it all. It's not excuse I don't go just to win the fence. I want to win it all. That's all I worry right now.
Well, Limo, I know a lot of people listening are going to be really happy to hear that you're coming back. Thanks very much for the time and continued success getting ready here the next month, and we look forward to seeing you here in April.
All right, we'll see you, man. We'll see you. Thanks for calling.
All right, great to hear from Limo again. And, Mace, we have a couple audience questions. Ryan Yingling tweeting at us on behalf of his son Jacob. He wanted to ask you if he could have the lineup card on opening night. You have an early request.
We have an early request, and I will grant that one. So, yes, the answer to that is yes. That's one of the easiest questions I've had. So, yes, Jacob can have that.
And Jessica Yingling wants to know, and this is probably on behalf of Jacob as well, but do we have any candy requests for the upcoming season?
I mean, I'm sure there will be. They know they offer me candy every night. Unfortunately, due to my condition, I can't take candy a lot of times. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of guys looking for the candy bowl.
Yeah. I'm not picky. So that's my answer. But thanks, guys. Good to hear from you. And again, you can tweet the show at WOYK1350 or like us on Facebook, WOYK1350, and message us there. So Yohan Lamonta is back. He is signing number 1 here this week. Still 2 to go on this week's show, and I think our fans will be pretty happy with what's to come here this week, and I'm sure they already are with the announcement of Limo. So stay tuned. We'll continue on here on Revs Hot Stove Weekly on Sports Radio 1350, WOYK1350.com, and the WOYK mobile apps.
Security in life isn't something you just wish for. You build it with a strong financial plan. Start with Northwestern Mutual. Together, we'll design a disciplined and balanced approach to financial security, because reaching your goals is something we both want to work toward. To learn more, contact me, Dan McGarry, at my office on the Square in York. Look for the blue awnings. Who's helping you build your financial future? The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Waking up with the Zabe. The Steve Zabin Show.
I know that replay in baseball did not win the weekend. Several more incidents that have people completely up in arms about how replay is being used in baseball. The good thing is, I don't really care, because it's baseball.
The Steve Zabin Show on Yahoo Sports Radio.
I can just sit back and laugh and say, good luck with that, reviewing all kinds of close plays all over the field, all over the base paths. Good luck reviewing all those things starting in April and going all summer long with a convoluted replay system and a bag of headphones that is brought out so the umpires can stand around and wait to see what New York says about a play. He lifted his foot off the bag for a second. Oh, we didn't have that replay. Even though local TV had the replay and the stadium had the replay, New York did not. Join me, Steve Zabin, mornings at 6 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
January and February are Caribbean months at Fender's Grill and Pub, located at the Wyndham Garden, York, formerly the Holiday Inn by the West Manchester Mall. Featuring chefs' Caribbean specialties and Caribbean drinks, plus Fender's regular menu. Visit Fender's to beat the winter blues and sign up for a chance to win a beach vacation. Register during January and February. The winner will be drawn on March 1st. Fender's is open daily for breakfast and dinner, for private parties, and we have live entertainment Friday nights. Fender's Grill and Pub, 2000 Louts Road in York. Come visit us today.
The puck drops here.
Wellman, the shot, score!
Sports Radio 1350, your home for Hershey Bears hockey.
Casey Wellman has won it in overtime for Hershey.
And the Washington Capitals.
Here in a shot, they score!
Defending the Den and rocking the red all season. Catch the Bears and the Caps on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports. The York College Spartans play here. Catch York College basketball all season on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. Your home for York's home teams.
And that's going to do it. The York College Spartans are 2014 CAC champions.
The spot for the Spartans. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports.
This is Bo Vaughn of the York Revolution. Catch the Revs all season right here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Welcome back here on Revs Hot Stove Weekly. One signing announced, Yohan Lamonta, and I'll tell you what, Limo, definitely a headliner, but I kind of feel, Mace, like all three here this week are headliners, so off to a good start, and continuing on here, and I think we have some breaking news again on this week's show.
Great Odin's Raven! I've just been handed an urgent news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
And this just in to our news desk. Our next signing is from York County. And heading back into the starting rotation, returning this season, right-hander Anthony LaRue, who is next on our crop for this week. And Mace, we got to see him last year for 5 starts before signing with the Angels. And I'll tell you what, I hope fans enjoyed it while he was here. He was fun to watch and wasn't here overly long, which is a credit to him. And he's going to come back here this year and try to do it all over again.
I'm sure he's looking for the same outcome that he had last year, obviously. Pitched terrific while he was here. That's a big pickup for us in our starting rotation coming into the season. And, on a selfish note, you'd like to see guys like that stick around a little bit longer. But, that's what the league is about. And he came in and showed what he could do and got out of here pretty quick.
It seems like a treat nowadays when you have a guy that's, as a starter, throwing in the low 90s with as firm a stuff as he has and really good curveball, which was his other, out pitch or strikeout pitch. But really pounded the strike zone, really good command of everything. And what was it like when you first got in touch with him, being a York County guy? What was the first contact like? And I would imagine that the fact that we're just down the road from him, it probably wasn't too terribly difficult of negotiations to get him to come back.
Well, no, if I remember right, Long Island, I think, had contacted him as well. And at the time, we were getting pretty full. And he and I talked, and, obviously he wanted to play here, and we wanted him to be here. I just wasn't sure how I was going to make the room at that time because of how many guys we had signed at that point. But we were able to work some things out, and I'm happy to say that we were able to get him signed, obviously, and get him here, and we're lucky to have him back again this year.
Yeah, last year in 5 starts with York, 1-1, a 2.25 ERA, and at the time that he signed with the Angels, he was leading the Atlantic League in strikeouts with 24. That was in 24 innings, and he had allowed fewer hits than innings, so all of the numbers were very good. Dillsburg native, he went to Northern York High School, of course, and was an absolute star there. And then drafted out of high school by Atlanta in 2001, the 11th round. And he's appeared in 20 big league games, 11 starts. First was called up with Atlanta in 2005, and over parts of 5 seasons with the Braves and the Royals, he's been called up here and there. And then went overseas for 3 years to pitch in Japan and Korea, and returned to the U.S. last season, signing with his home county team here in York. So 32 years old now, entering his 14th pro season. His career minor league ERA is in the mid-3s, and of course we told you what he did here in York for us last season. And actually just before the show today, right around 3:30 or so, we were able to catch up with Anthony LaRue, our latest signing, and he joins us on this week's program as well. Well, Anthony, great to hear from you. Great to have you back this season. First off, should we do this interview in your broadcasting voice? I know you have a really special talent.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about doing that one.
Now, well, how's the off season been? And I know that you are experiencing the cold weather with the rest of us. I'm sure it's probably not too much warmer in southern York County than it is in northern York County.
No, it's kind of brutal in both right now, to be honest. I just got back from Venezuela like 3 weeks ago, and I don't think it's been in. I think it was one day where it was above 30 for like a little bit, and then I was like, I should have brought some more warm weather back or something.
How was your time in winter ball? How'd you feel down there?
I felt all right. I got sick. I ate the lettuce or something. I got sick real bad for like a couple weeks.
Oh no!
But other than that, I felt great.
So is it a little bit of downtime for you now, or are you already starting to throw and get going and everything?
I've just been working out and stuff. I haven't really been throwing yet, just because I pretty much just got thrown like 2 weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks ago. But my buddy's team is starting to work out here in the facility in town, close to where I live. So I'm going to go in and start working out with those guys here shortly.
Talking with Anthony LaRue, and your time in York last year, it was brief. It was 5 starts, but it obviously paid dividends for you. How much did you enjoy your month here, and was it a pretty easy decision for you to sign up to come back and try it again?
Oh yeah, I mean I loved playing in York last year, and like it's so nice to be able to be in a position where I'm at like home and I can just drive there, have fun, enjoy the experience. People can come watch me play and stuff, and then hopefully like last year, I can use it to my advantage and get picked up to go somewhere else and try and get back to the big leagues. But no, York's a great place, and there's no reason for me to play anywhere else. I mean, it's so close to where I live and such a great community. It's like that's all I need.
Now, definitely looking forward to getting you back here, and your time with the Angels last summer. How did things go there? How was that experience for you once you got into their organization?
I was overseas the last 3 years before that, and it was kind of a weird transition thing. Like when I first got overseas, it was like it took me a while to adjust. It's like when I got back last year, it's like I wasn't prepared or something. I don't know, but I didn't have too good of a season, but I turned it around in winter ball a little bit there before I got sick, and then now I've just been working out with the wife. She started this new workout thing, so we've been working out together. So I'm going to be coming in shape this year, hopefully, to get somewhere and do better, get the same opportunity I did last year, and try and do a better job,
Talking with Anthony LaRue, and after 3 years overseas, how much different was the baseball over there than it is here in the U.S.?
It's a lot different as far as, like, we have better fielding here, better arms in the outfield, but I don't know, I guess they're more fundamentally sound. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a 3-hole hitter or a 4-hole hitter. If it's a bunt situation, they're bunting. You don't have guys over there trying to hit home runs all the time, so there's a lot more balls put in play. Mm-hmm. But that's the only thing about the States I like is you get those guys that get up to the plate and they're trying to do their own thing, and you can kind of get in their head a little bit and get them to swing and miss, or try and hit a ball out of the park where they overswing and they miss. But overseas, they don't really miss too often. they're always putting something in play, and our fielding and stuff, in America and wherever is better than it is over there as far as arms and stuff go. So it's different. I mean, it's definitely it's hard to explain unless you've actually seen it or experienced it, but a lot of guys I talk to say the same thing. They're just like, man, they don't ever miss anything.
Yeah. Well, when you were back here then last season, when you were in York, I remember some home starts where you had quite the fan section. How many people do you think would be here at one time for you?
Probably around 30 people, probably. Yeah. 35, 40 maybe.
The LaRue crew, right?
Yeah, the LaRue crew.
Well, yeah, looking forward to seeing them again this year. And I wanted to wrap it up, Anthony, with your other big interest, which, of course, is vehicles. Do you do a lot of work on the truck during this time of year when you're at home? Is that kind of your hobby away from the field?
Yeah, actually, I mean, you saw my truck last year, and I think I was working on it then, too. But, yeah, it's like my off-season thing is I like to Craigslist shop or whatever and get four-wheelers or dirt bikes or something and kind of fix them up with my buddy and make them better and run better and then resell them. It's kind of like a hobby. I like to work on cars and, fix stuff up and then sell it and try and make a little bit of money off of it,
Yeah. Well, how many do you have in the garage or driveway at this point?
Actually, I got rid of one motorcycle, so I think I'm sitting around 12 or 14.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you have sporting rooting interest during the off season away from baseball?
I didn't really, because while I was in Venezuela, I couldn't really get into football.
Yeah.
If I had to choose, like, I like the Phillies a lot, and the Eagles, I guess. But if the Eagles aren't winning, then I'll choose Pittsburgh, and if Pittsburgh's not winning, then I'll go with Baltimore or Washington. Anything close to home, I kind of root for.
All right. Should the Eagles? Should they trade up for Mariota? Should they give everything for him?
I don't know. That's a tough call.
Yeah. Glad it's
not. You don't want to make any Philadelphia Eagles fans mad, so I'm not going to put my comment on there. I don't know enough about the situation.
No, but you don't want to make them mad, so that's good.
Oh yeah. I do know that.
Well, Anthony, thanks very much for taking a few minutes to catch up with us. And again, congratulations on signing. And I can't wait to see you here in a little over a month, I guess, back here in York.
Oh, yep, for sure. Can't wait.
All right, Anthony LaRue, big pickup for the starting rotation there, Mace. And by the way, we have a note from our friends Ron and Kathy, who are listening from the Caribbean today. They're listening from St. Lucia, so we are completely worldwide here on Revs Hot Stove Weekly.
Enjoy the weather, Ron and Kathy. Enjoy the weather. Nice to hear from you.
Well, we have one more signing to get to here on this week's show, and again, another big one, another good one for the Revs here, and we will unveil that, and we've also got an interview with this gentleman coming up as well. So stay tuned here on Revs Hot Stove Weekly. We'll be back right after this.
In the midst of the long, harsh Pennsylvania winter, anticipation is building. An undeniable excitement born from the knowledge that each passing day brings us closer to a new beginning. One day closer to making a statement. Closer to writing a new chapter in the York Revolution's history. As we count down to April 24th, we're reminded that each day brings us closer to the start of something special. Sports Radio 1350, WOYK.
The York College Spartans play here. Catch York College basketball all season on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. Your home for York's home teams.
Here's Wessner again. Behind a screen, he hits another three. Ahead to Myers, wide open for the dunk. He jams another one, his second tonight.
The spot for the Spartans. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports.
Get ready for winter now and save big on your heating oil or propane costs. Call today to schedule your first fill, and don't forget to ask our energy advisors about the right money-saving plan or budget to fit your lifestyle. Lock in your rate and protect your price all winter. Our price-protected customers save an average of $325 per year. Visit ShipleyEnergy.com or call 855-4SHIPLEY to schedule your next heating oil or propane delivery. Shipley Energy, energy for life.
The new Wyndham Garden York, formerly the Holiday Inn by the West Manchester Mall, has been fully renovated and remodeled. With 177 upgraded guest rooms, over 16,000 square feet of meeting space, 2 large ballrooms, indoor and outdoor pools, a much larger fitness center, a new business center, and free Wi-Fi throughout. The new Fender's Grill and Pub features American cuisine in a casual atmosphere using local meats, produce, wine, and craft beers. The new Wyndham Garden, 2000 Loucks Road in York. Stop in or call us at 846-9500.
Hi, this is Wayne McCullough. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. for Central PA Game Day, right here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. Join us as we celebrate the best of local sports with your teams and your student athletes. Interviews with players and coaches and the high school scoreboard show every Saturday morning. Central PA Game Day, Saturdays at 9 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports.
This is Anthony LaRue of the York Revolution. Catch the Revs all season right here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
One more signing to go here on this week's show, here on Revs Hot Stove Weekly. And, Ray, do we have a clip? We have a clip for the...
Oh, my God! That's Judy!
No, Judy.
I've seen Judy. That's Judy.
Judy has brown eyes. Judy, that's not Judy.
Judy, holy Judy.
Judy.
Judy! Yeah! Judy! Judy!
Josh Judy coming back for the 2015 season. And Mace, on this week's show, all three players announced have been signed from York by major league organizations. For Judy, it was also the Angels back in 2013. We only got to see him in a game 4 times that year, but they were on his radar, and I know your work with him really helped get him ironed out and got him ready to go on to the Angels, and then parlayed that into a contract with the Dodgers last season. And unfortunately, an injury last year, and we'll hear from Josh about that. He'll join us here as well. But coming back here and looking to, again, like the other guys, do it all over again. Another success story from years past coming back.
Absolutely. Speaking with Josh this offseason, he's excited about coming back. And basically the last time he was here, he was only here long enough for us to adjust his arm slot, get it up a little bit, and the next thing you know, he was out the door. So, he has a boatload of talent, and, we're looking for some guys that can pitch in the back end of our bullpen as well. And he's another guy that can fit all the roles from seventh inning on. And, we're happy to have him back. And, last year he barely had time to take a shower before he got signed. So that does happen, though, occasionally. And I'm sure he's hoping he can get picked up out of here again as well.
29 years old. He's 6'4". Made it to the majors with Cleveland, the team that drafted him. He appeared in 12 big league games in 2011. For his minor league career, a .382 ERA, 57 saves, including a career-high 23 at AAA that same 2011 season when he was in Columbus. So you mentioned that he can pitch in the back end. He certainly has done that during his career, and probably would have at some point had he been here longer. In 2013, if I remember right, you were using him in the 7th inning, I guess, at the time that he got picked up. So, do you just kind of wait and see how he looks this year when you get everybody together and go from there?
I believe so. We try to get some roles established early on in the bullpen because for relievers, they like to know when it would be their time of the game. It makes them more relaxed down there, and everybody has an idea on when I might use them. So we'll try to set the roles as fast as we can, but early in the season sometimes you can't quite do it until you see what kind of shape guys are, what kind of shape they're in when they get here. And then some guys, they take a little bit longer to come around just based on their conditioning and so forth before they get here. And after a couple weeks, usually sometime in the month of May, we can pretty much lock into the roles at that point.
All right, well, we'll close out this week's show with our conversation with Josh Judy. We were able to catch up with him yesterday and get the lowdown on him and his last couple of seasons. Well, Josh, looking forward to having you back here in York. And, first off, go back to your first time here and what the experience was like. And obviously it had to be a pretty good one for you with signing with the Angels back in 2013, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of fun. Met a lot of great people, host families, players, manager, current manager Mace, pitching coach John Halama back then, who I formerly played with. It was just a great experience overall, being there for the short brief time that I was there.
And I know you and Mace were working on some fine-tuning points. Did you feel that was important in getting to where you needed to be and impressing who you needed to impress?
Absolutely. Just fine-tuning some mechanical things that I developed a bad habit during that off season, and it was great to have another set of eyes pick up something that I didn't see myself.
I would imagine that the goal then for you will be the same this season. What's your mindset like as you get ready? And obviously, I would imagine there's snow on the ground in Ohio, just like there is here. But what's the off season like for you and your mindset as you try to do the same thing again here in 2015?
Yeah, mindset's the same. When I come in and show what I got, I can still pitch at a high level. Had a setback this year last year with the Dodgers. Ended up breaking my elbow during a game, and just had surgery. Want to bounce back from that, and still show that I can still pitch.
Talking with Josh Judy, and that I would imagine has to be awfully difficult. How did it happen? Can you describe the injury and where you are now?
Yeah, it happened last June. I was in a game, faced a hitter and threw a breaking ball and felt my elbow snap in half, like literally. Yes. But arm kind of dropped, and I knew something was wrong. They come rushing out, took me in, and then had an X-ray the very next day, and it showed that I broke the little pointy bone in your elbow, the olecranon, and then had a surgery 2 weeks later, and just rehabbed all summer in Phoenix at the Dodgers complex, and then was back to throwing by September.
Wow. Well, did you have any inkling that anything might have been wrong leading up to that, or was it just a one-time pitch that it just went?
It was pretty sore from like 2 weeks before and continued through those 2 weeks. It didn't really get any better. We continued to do treatment. We didn't think anything of it. It was kind of like that normal achiness, soreness kind of thing. They didn't seem too alarmed about it. I didn't either. And unfortunately, it was something more serious than what we thought.
Yeah, well, amazing to hear that you were able to be thrown again by September. How would you describe where you are right now as you get ready for this season?
To be honest, I feel stronger now than I did before the injury. So, hopefully, I guess we'll see, this coming season how it holds up with the durability with going out there pitching games and throwing every day, as I have been this off season, throwing every day. But just to see in game situations how it holds up.
Talking with Josh Judy, do you ever does that make you part of like a club of pitchers that have had elbow? Like, do you talk with guys that have gone through stuff like that?
I've talked to quite a few guys that have gone through Tommy John, but not too many actually broke them.
Yeah.
Broke their arm. But the funny thing is, after I did it, a week later, Gavin Floyd in the big leagues did the same thing with the Braves.
Yeah.
He broke his arm throwing a pitch, and so I haven't run into many guys that have actually broke it.
Wow. Well, other than getting ready for the season, how is the off season? I know we talked a little snow, and you're closer to Cleveland, right? Living in Ohio.
Yeah, I'm in Akron, which is about 35 miles south.
It's
been really, really cold.
Yeah, pretty much the same as here. Do you have like an indoor place you can go or anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I work out at a place called Hit and Run Academy, and they've been really good to me over the course of my career, letting me come in, work out, occasionally speak to some of their groups of kids and stuff. But they provide a place for me to work out and throw.
Oh, very nice. And are you starting to get the itch? Guys reporting on TV, you start to see that. Is it starting to get to be that time in your internal clock?
Absolutely. That internal clock was kicking. I've been itching to get back on the field since June, but yeah, definitely that internal clock is turning.
And do you look at, slotting back into a late inning role with York this season? I know you were pretty comfortable there when we had you the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of how my career has gone over the past 8 seasons, and just want to continue to do that.
Well, Josh, we look forward to seeing you back here. Thanks very much for the time on this week's show, and continued success as you get ready for the season. It won't be long. We'll have you here in York.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, maybe people should not be eating while they listen to our show with elbows snapping and stuff, but it's good to hear he bounced back that quickly, Mace. Man.
No, it is, and like we were talking there, I had a pitcher in Washington that actually a left-hander that broke his forearm when he threw a pitch, and I mean that's scary, but the elbow is something that can be taken care of, and I'm sure he's going to be fine when he gets here, and we'll make sure that we don't overdo it at the beginning and give him a chance to settle in.
Well, nice job by you this week on radio and also on building this team. That was a fun week.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's fun, and there's some more announcements coming that'll be very popular announcements and good announcements for us. So I'm excited, and every week we get a little bit closer. So March is right around the corner.
Yeah, actually Sunday. So we are looking forward to seeing this thing continue to take shape. 13 signings now, and again the 3 today: Johan Lamonte, Anthony LaRue, Josh Judy. 3 guys, as we mentioned, that have been signed from York before, so obviously talented guys who will be trying to do that again while bettering the Revs at the same time. And again, a bat, a starter, and a reliever. So a nice balance here this week. All right, Mace, we'll look forward to it again next Friday at 4 o'clock. We'll see you then.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
And maybe in our new studio next Friday, too.
That would be okay, too.
If all goes well. It'll be warmer. All right, we're going to run. Coming up tonight, by the way, Hershey Bears hockey at 6:25, Bears at the Binghamton Senators, and stay tuned for that. And then tomorrow, high school basketball district final, continuing our local sports at 1 o'clock. York High is taking on Cedar Crest in the boys Quad A finals. So keep it right here, and we'll talk to you next Friday at 4 for Revs Hot Stove Weekly here on Sports Radio 1350, WOYK1350.com, and the WOYK mobile apps.
First in York, first in sports. Your only local sports station. The new Sports Radio 1350, WOYK, York, Pennsylvania.